guys, welcome to A Taste of Congo, and today I'm going to show you how we make Madesu, and that is basically beans, how to make beans. So basically what you see in here is my beans. I haven't boiled it just yet. See, my mom and I came up with the technique of making Madesu. We often found brown beans it takes a long time to cook, so what we came up with was to leave the beans inside water overnight. So if you know you're making Madesu the next day, you leave it in, you drown it in water, soak it in water, and leave it overnight. Now what that does, it changes the texture of it a little bit. Now because I forgot to do it last night, today I put a bit of warm water inside and just left it since the morning until about this time. So as you can see, it's not boiled, but it's a little bit softer, so now I can boil it with the onions. Now this is quite easy to make. All you will need is some onion, spring onion. You'll get some celery. I have my garlic, very important, I think. Some red peppers. You can use yellow or green, it's up to you, but I prefer the red. And you're gonna need some tube, so tomato puree, and chopped tomato. I normally use peeled tomato, but today I'm going to use chopped, and just any kind of seasoning that you have, whether it is Maggi cube or barbecue seasoning, fish seasoning, whatever you want to use. So this is pretty much all I'm going to be using. Now I'm going to start by boiling my Madesu. This is how I'm going to be boiling my Madesu. I'm going to boil it with a little bit of onion. Some onions I just chopped. See, it's not too much for a whole pack of Madesu. I only chopped half of an onion, and I'm also going to be boiling it with one garlic. So you just chuck it in there and boil it for about 30 minutes. So I got the peppers, the onion, and the spring onion ready to do my sauce. Now the way I'm going to do my sauce is I'm going to fry the onions and then add some peppers, and then I'm going to do the tomato sauce using some chopped tomato and a bit of puree, and I'm going to add some barbecue seasoning, and obviously I'm going to pop in some garlic as well. Now this one I add towards the end when I mix my sauce. So I'm also going to be adding some black pepper, dried mixed herbs, and smoked paprika. Now you can keep it the simple way. That's the quickest way of doing it. But if you want a little bit more twist to it, you want more taste, more flavors, you can always add these. The simpler the better, but sometimes I like to change things a little bit. Okay, so just before I fry, I'm going to put oil. Obviously you can use regular oil, vegetable oil, or sunflower oil, but I'm going to be using lemon and dill oil. Now it is a form of olive oil with lemon and dill. Right, so this shows how I am frying my onions, and I'm going to be frying my peppers as well. But before I put the pepper in, I'm going to make sure my onions are not too much fried, but just turning brownish, so I can add in my peppers. And once I can see my peppers getting ready as well, I'm going to be adding my tomatoes inside. So I'm using about half of the chopped tomatoes tin, not too much tomato as well, because I'm going to be adding some water and also some tomato puree like I showed earlier on. And I'm just going to be stirring it until I feel like it's I'm beginning to smell the tomatoes, and then I'm going to add my puree. So you're looking about a full tablespoon of puree. I don't really measure, I cook by freestyle. That's how I do it best anyways. So yeah, so you just keep stirring it, not adding anything until it's nice and thick, until all the water has evaporated, and then you can no longer taste the tomatoey sourness. And once you feel like it's nice and thick, you can add your water into it. So you add the water obviously to dilute the tomato. You don't have to do it immediately. You can add it straight to the beans and then add the water, but somehow I prefer doing it this way this time. So yeah, and this is a good time as well where you add all your other seasonings. So if you want to add some salt into your tomato sauce, you can add some salt, and I'm going to be adding the rest of my seasonings, so some black peppers, mixed herbs, and the paprika in. And I'm going to mix it thoroughly, and I'm also going to taste it to see if it's tasty. If not, then I'll be adding some things as well. So this is a really great time for you to be tasting it and really experimenting with different spices. And then after that's done, I'm going to add my sauce into my bins. So do remember to to drain your water from the bin. So you don't want to add the sauce when the boiled water is still inside the bins. So when I add my sauce inside the bins, you would realize that the tomato sauce is not enough. So you add a bit more water into the pot just to see. So you ideally, like I said, I don't really measure, but ideally you want the sauce to cover up the bins. Not too much, but a good length, just like I'm showing. And here I am just showing you half an hour later how the beans is boiled. Now I am showing you how I'm adding my spring onions towards the end. I like the look of spring onions in the beans, that's why I like to add it in the end as well, and it just keep the flavor fresh.